person you're about to see wants to give you an insight into his secret life. You will see him and hear his voice, but he will not reveal his full identity.
The age of 19, I was still not really prepared to accept that I was gay. And I can even remember sort of periods of prayer saying that this is what it's about. If I pray enough, God will grant me the gift, if you like, getting me through this phase and making me straight. And it wasn't really until towards the end of my training that I decided, no, this is not a phase, this is me. Before I was studying for the priesthood, I used to go cottaging periodically. There were certain public toilets in the area where you knew that if you went along there, you were likely to meet somebody. And you soon become quite an expert at discovering which toilets are used and which ones aren't. So that as a priest, when I then felt the need to have sex, I knew the places to go to. And I think the thrill of cottaging, well, it just makes anonymous sex very easy. You don't have to relate to the person you're having sex with. You don't even have to tell them your name. There were several close calls. There was a really close call in that I was arrested for cottaging. And the only other person involved in this cottaging episode was a policeman. And I remember him producing the handcuffs, arresting me. Then they go through all the rigmarole of they need to check your address and your panic's on. Are they going to tell them back at the house who they are, what you've been arrested for? And I think, listening to other priests who've been in a similar situation, I was quite fortunate in that they didn't. They just checked that I lived there. They never even said who they were, and never asked any other information. At some stage, the need to have sex just isn't enough. That I started to need more than that in my life. Started to struggle with the whole idea of loneliness and being alone. And I remember even reflecting on the idea, is being lonely part of being what a priest is about? But then I started to think, well, no, this can't be true, because the loneliness was just too much to bear. And so I started to think how nice it would be to have a relationship with someone. I'm trying to think back to the first time I went into a gay pub, some time ago now. And I remember right at the beginning that I would never ever, because I mean, the classic questions you're asked, is, what's your name? Do you live round here? And what do you do for a living? And I always dreaded that, what do you do for a living? And social workers and nurses and whatever else you could think of to say. And so you were in a gay pub or a gay club where you'd be expected to be able to relax, but you couldn't. You're always watching out, just in case. And you certainly couldn't slip up. Which would take me back actually to an instant a few years before, when I came out to do a funeral. And I looked down at the congregation, and one of the people in the congregation turned out to be a nephew of the woman I was burying. I'd been speaking to in one of the gay pubs only the week before, and my heart just stopped. It missed a beat. I just hoped that the ground would just open up and swallow me.
Lord, you are holy indeed.
Eventually,
All holiness.
I met somebody who became very special to me. And there were a lot of people who at the time said to me, you seem to be a lot happier. And I was. And I got my job done better. But the pressure that was on there was that you weren't able to say to anyone, this is the special person in my life. Because you weren't allowed to have a special person in your life. And a classic example really was that I had a big birthday party, and this person was there, and I was thanking everyone, all my friends, for their love and their support over the years. And I really wanted to say a special word of thanks to this particular person, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. And I hated myself afterwards, and he felt hurt, although he never said it to me at the time. I remember a few months after the relationship ended, there were a number of priests sat downstairs watching the television, and they were all laughing and joking, having a good time. And the feelings that I had are really painful to actually remember and recall, because I've never felt so low in my life. I remember sitting there on the floor, cuddling myself, thinking, I just want somebody to hold me, for me to hold them. Somebody to tell me that they love me. Somebody to just be with me. And I was there on my own. At this time in my life, I'm seriously considering my position as a priest in the Catholic Church. I enjoyed and I enjoy what I do in ministry. But at the same time, I don't think that celibacy rule needs to accompany a call to ministry. I'm pretty sure that if it was discovered who I was, my considering my future would be taken out of my hands. Having said that, I still feel that I wanted to say everything that I have said. Because one of the phrases, if you like, that's always spoken to me is, it's better to be hated for who you are than to be loved for the person that you're not. And for me, that's become something of a motto in life.